the Sunday Funday show. I'm Kelly, and this is...
Oh, Shannon.
What are you doing?
Shh. I'm looking
For what?
for a storm.
Storm?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You know, rain, thunder, tornadoes, hurricanes.
Why?
It's dangerous, exciting, adventurous. Let's do it, Kelly.
Well, I don't see the point. I don't
To
like
help
storms.
people, everybody needs to know when their hair is gonna get wet, when it's too windy to be outside. If it's, that time when you need to evacuate for a hurricane. We live in Florida, you know this.
Couldn't we just use our weather app? Yeah.
Kelly, everybody needs help from somebody else to know the exact time. The app can only tell you so much.
Okay.
Somebody has to tell the app. We should be those people.
I don't think so. I'm really afraid of storms. I don't want to get out there and get wet.
That's why you wear something like this.
What is this?
Well, these are overalls, but water repellent overalls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That seems perfect for this.
Yes. They don't get you wet. Your clothes stay dry. You go outside, you chase the big storm as fast as you can, and you find it, Kelly. You find it. Here, maybe you should try these. Look around.
Okay.
See what you can find.
Well,
you see gray clouds, mysterious swirling, twirling clouds in here?
No, I do not. We're in the Sunday Funday studio. That's all I see. You and the set.
Kelly,
What?
use your imagination. This is practice. Practice for that big time when we can help somebody know about a storm.
No, I still don't. I can't even imagine it. I'm so frightened. I don't want to do it, Shannon.
Kelly, I'm gonna need a teammate. I'm gonna need somebody to drive the car. I'm gonna need somebody to hand me my equipment. I'm gonna need you, and you are my partner, and we should do this.
I don't think so. No. How about Bible story time with Ken?
Hey guys, great to see you today. Now, today's story is really, really cool. It's pretty amazing. Now, when Jesus was walking around on the planet, he was always doing stuff for other people. He was always helping. He was healing people and he was caring for people, always giving himself away. And you think about it, when you do that, well, you can get pretty tired. And Jesus got pretty tired. And so he would kind of go off by himself to get some rest, and he would spend time alone with his heavenly Father. And there were times also when Jesus would go off alone with his disciples, just Jesus and his closest followers, and they would go off alone and hang out together and just to get away from the crowds. And so today's story is actually one of those times when it's just Jesus and his disciples together. And so to help me tell the story today, I'm actually going to need some disciples.
You rang?
Yeah, I'm going to need some help telling the story today.
Awesome.
Great. But you guys are going to need this.
Should I be worried about this?
No, it'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right, so as you guys are probably aware, in Jesus' time, there were no cars and buses and trains and that kind of thing. So when people wanted to get around from place to place, they had to walk or ride an animal. And for Jesus, he did most of his, ministry right there in the area around the Sea of Galilee. And so if Jesus and his friends wanted to get to the other side of the lake, well, they would have to walk as well. But if they wanted to get there quickly, they could jump into a boat and just cut across the lake. And so for today's story, that's exactly where we find these guys. They're going to cut across the lake in a boat. Now, something else you should know. Some of Jesus' followers were fishermen. So they spent a lot of time on the Sea of Galilee fishing. And so they were probably pretty familiar with storms. They had been through several storms out there on the Sea of Galilee. And so they would know what to do if a problem cropped up.
Did you say problem?
Oh, yeah, but don't worry about that. All right, so Jesus and his disciples, they get in a boat and they're heading out across the Sea of Galilee. And then it says in the Bible that suddenly this storm just kind of blew up and came upon them. But it says in the Bible that it wasn't just any storm, it was a terrible storm. So, this was a big deal. A big, scary, terrible storm just kind of blew up on these guys. So, you with me? What kind of storm was it? That's right, it was a terrible storm. There were wind, really bad wind and waves, and it was very, very scary. Now, we don't know everything about it, but you can imagine that there was probably lightning and thunder. We know that the waves were crashing onto the boat. Really bad, scary situation. So, let's kind of reenact that a little bit. I want you guys to think about the worst storm that you have ever seen. So maybe it looked kind of like this.
Oh, that feels kind of nice. You know, after a hot day in the Israeli sun.
So the winds began to pick up. The winds are blowing on these guys a little bit. And maybe there was a little bit of thunder. I don't know, but storms can have thunder. Thunder can be a little bit scary. And perhaps there was also some lightning. Yeah, some lightning flashing could also be really, really scary for these guys. And maybe the lightning was super intense, like bright, scary flashes of lightning all around them. And then, as the wind is blowing, the waves start to pick up. And the waves are really big, and the wind is blowing the sea spray across the waves onto the disciples. And then the waves are so big, the wind is so strong, that the waves are crashing onto the boat, and the disciples are completely soaked. So, the disciples were in the middle of this storm. They were pretty scared. And like I said before, some of these guys were fishermen. And even the fishermen were scared in this situation. Now, you might be thinking, well, what about Jesus? Where was Jesus when all of this was going on? I mean, wasn't he in the boat with them? Well, that's a good question, and that's actually the question that the disciples were thinking as well. Jesus! Wake up! Jesus, I don't want to die! So Jesus got up, and he looked at the wind and the waves, and he spoke directly to it. And he said, "Quiet, be still." Now, the disciples, well, they had never seen Jesus do something like this before, and it's actually a little bit strange. I mean, maybe they thought he was sleepwalking. Maybe, I don't know. It was not something that they were expecting him to see. It was pretty amazing. But the most amazing thing happened after that. Because just as Jesus said, the storm was completely still. The wind stopped, the waves stopped, and everything was calm. And then Jesus, he spoke to his disciples. And he said, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still not have any faith?" It's interesting that Jesus, he kind of got onto his guys. He kind of rebuked them a little bit for not having faith. But think about it. These guys had been with Jesus. They had seen him do amazing things. Did they really think that Jesus wasn't going to be able to handle this situation? Jesus was right there in the boat with them. Jesus was there. He could help them through anything. And that's kind of an important thing for us to think about as well. I mean, when the disciples went to Jesus, they were terrified. They were so scared. And even though Jesus got on to them a little bit about their lack of faith, Jesus really responded to them in love. I mean, Jesus had compassion on them. He saw their situation, he saw their fear, and he responded in love. He did exactly for them what they needed at that time. And that shows us something really important about Jesus. He's always, always going to respond to us in love. All right, that's our story. Back to you guys.
Ken, thanks for that story. That was awesome. I felt like I was there.
I know, with the storm and the waves and the boat was rocking and everything. Awesome storm.
I was so scared and I felt like I was going to throw up.
Oh, gross. You did talk about that earlier.
I really don't like storms, no.
But guess what was the best part about the story? That
What?
Jesus, all
Yeah.
that storm and all those waves and like the huge stuff going on. Jesus
I
just
don't
said,
really like that.
be still, and it stopped.
I like that part.
Whoa! Like, mind blown. I should so do that. That's like the ultimate storm chaser move.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Are you saying you are like Jesus? You can stop storms?
Let's just reveal the question, okay?
Okay.
Reveal the question.
How does Jesus help when life is hard?
Right.
Got any other ideas besides storm chasing and
Yeah, I
stopping
can't
'em?
stop a storm. I know that. So let me think of some other ways that, Praying. Yes, that's the best way to talk to Jesus when you need him, is to pray.
Exactly.
And he can hear you and he can help you.
Yes.
Duh.
It's perfect.
It is. That's a great idea.
Thank you so
You're
much.
I know.
Okay, guys, you talk about it at home and in your small groups. See what you can come up with, okay? And we'll see you next time
On the
Sunday Funday Show.